I'm trying to tell you people the way this went down. We're not up here trying to hide anything. There's confidentiality acts throughout across this country at all times. Now, at this point in time, like I said earlier, this council and myself had voted unanimously to press forward with this on September the 10th on the sales lease agreement and on the purchase lease agreement. And that's what my intentions are to do. No. No.
Tom, move on.
You vote.
Enjoy your last
I'll go around here. I'll go around the table. And before we adjourn this meeting, Rick Mead, you got anything to say, Councilman?
There's still people that want to speak.
There's still people that
Yeah, we want to hear this guy talk.
Public meeting.
Right here.
It's not a public meeting. I'm telling you right now, this is not a public meeting to shut down a smelter. This is a public council meeting for the city of Crystal City to conduct business. Pam, you got anything?
It's a communist meeting.
Please just let this gentleman talk, and then we'll end the night. Let this gentleman talk, please.
Okay, I've heard some things here tonight I'm uncomfortable with.
Thank God. Somebody
I think it's time we slow down. I'm not comfortable, whether it be me, the only one that is comfortable or not comfortable on this. I do have something here I've written up, and I'm going to read it because I don't speak very well. Just from the top of my head, I'm nervous. After I've listened to some of this, our citizens, that I feel that we're elected to answer to. I know we've been elected to make decisions for the city to the best of our ability, and that's what I want to try to do. I just want to, I'm concerned that we may have rushed to some judgment without having all the information maybe that I need necessary to make an informed decision. I thought at the time when I kept asking questions, it seemed like, okay, all right, answered my question. I'm not the brightest person in the world, so something kept nagging. And I've always felt, I guess, that if something doesn't feel right, maybe it isn't, and this is where I'm coming from tonight. I don't think I was given enough time to read the lease and digest its ramifications. I know our attorney said, I want you to take your time and understand, ask any questions that you want. But then he did say, you know, we need to move on this by tomorrow. And I was uncomfortable with that, but again, I don't have the knowledge to challenge that kind of legal thing. So I guess I just got to say, I'm not clear as to how we got to this point. Our city attorney, this is another thing that just happened recently. Our city attorney of over 50 years resigned. Well, first of all, well, please, let me finish. Evidently now there's some emails that I didn't know were going on back and forth. No, nothing was ever mentioned about that from the attorney. Maybe he didn't have to speak that. I don't know. Maybe he didn't know. I'm uncomfortable with what I just heard about those emails.
Thank you.
Maybe there's two sides to every story. And I'm not saying that we're wrong all the way and that you guys are right all the way. I just think I want to slow down here, see what we can do. I don't believe this is over until the closing. And at this time, because I feel like I'm answering to the citizens that elected me, It's obvious that a lot of our citizens are not too excited about what's transpired to date. So I would like to make a privileged motion and hope that someone will second it here on the council. I move that we instruct our attorney to take what steps are necessary to amend our contract, our lease agreement with PPG, and to delay the closing of the PPG property, and no one put me up to this, by the way, until the council can entertain all of the serious offers through a request for proposal in order that we can review what is in the best interest of the city.
Second.
Now,
Motion's been made and seconded.
discussion.
Discussion?
I can go on and discuss if you want. If not, I do have some more thoughts about it, but
Speak your mind, Pam, I'd appreciate it.
I just don't feel like our lease should go into effect. Our lease can't go into effect until we own this property. But our attorney, I feel I'd like to ask him, needs to notify Wings that we are amending our sales contract and we will not close until a future date agreed upon by the majority of our council here. Our sale contract is with PPG, and we need to have our attorney determine with PPG how to delay the closing, maybe 6 months to 1 year. The attorney needs to impress on PPG that this is what the city wants. I'm not all sure that PPG understands and knows what the city wants from that email. I don't know. Nothing in the Sunshine Law requires us at this point in time to go into any kind of a closed session. I don't believe, after I've been trying to study the Sunshine Law and understand, I don't think that we can go into that now that it's public knowledge. Is that correct, attorney?
What is correct?
No, I'm asking. Since this information became public, I don't believe that we can go into any kind of closed session any longer to discuss this particular thing.
And when the sales contract with PPG was signed, and when the lease was signed, those documents and any documents involving the negotiations behind them became public, which they have.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. What you're asking right now is to raise the possibility of renegotiating the sales agreement with PPG. That is not something that can unilaterally be done by the city. It's something.
Could we ask Mr. Mr. Kennedy?
Mr. Kennedy has nothing to do with PPG sales agreement. Wings Enterprises is the lessee under the lease. A concern
Can you
that.
speak out, please?
I'm sorry, I'll speak as loud as I can. The concern that I have is what you're suggesting is that the council take action that potentially could be interpreted as a breach of the contract of the sales agreement with PPG.
Yeah,
That-
yes,
that-
and
That involves very, very serious legal issues.
Yes,
He already
sir.
breached.
Please,
That
let
involves
me,
potential litigation. And
Yes.
with all respect, under those circumstances, I believe for us to present the legal issues to you, to discuss these matters with you, would fall within the attorney-client privilege. That should be done in a closed session.
okay, I'm asking, I'm learning. Well, I still have the motion and it's seconded, and I guess I'll ask my council members, does anyone else have anything they would like to say at this point in time?